Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sairam to all of you. We welcome everyone to the Satsang of Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. So, as usual, we'd like to express gratitude to Swami to let us come together and continuing the Gita Jnana Yajna. And we are chapter 8, according to the original Gita, called Akshara Parabrahma Yoga. And in the soft copy, you have chapter 16, page 73. And in the hard copy printed book, we have chapter 16 and page 150. I said we express gratitude to Swami to come together. Let me tell you, in spirituality, that's why we pray to Ganesha, remove the obstacles. Always there will be obstacle to see how much perseverance we have. There will be some excuse. It's too much heat. Why to go on the heat? So just let us be at home, watch and Zoom in air conditioning. Maybe excuse, or some work commitment may come, or a back pain, some health problems will come, a toothache may be coming, or you may have work commitments will be there, some social engagement, birthday party, or this party. So, but if you have that hunger, that's what Swami said, Sri Ramakrishna, he will make it happen. When I was in active practice for 45 years, Methodist, I used to see even 30 to 40 patients, but by His grace on Thursdays, when in town, except when I'm used to go to Swami all the time. So, yeah, always not even, maybe very, very rare, 99% I was able to. So if you have that longing, the whole thing Swami says spirituality, how much your intensity, longing, then depending on the grace comes. Then you'll make it happen, everything will fall in place. And also people will know, like in our hospital board of directors, they know, yeah, Thursday evening you can't, he won't come because unless major emergency. Right? So what I'm telling is we need to continue to pray to God to give the opportunity, take part in the satsang, and all spiritual activities, whether it is service on Sunday or in Sai Prem Nilayam or here, that is all because of the grace. Repeatedly is emphasized. So, and last week, so we talked about, so main thing it was Raja Yoga, meditation. Swami was talking. Before we talked about 8 ways how we worship the God without form but with attributes. So Prajnan that time he told nicely. So what is the thing? Kavim, Puranam, Anshushachitaram, Anoraniyan, Sarvasya Dhataram, Chintya Rupam, Aditya Varnam, A plus. That you get all 100%. So that is the thing. So now you need to think about those qualities and contemplate. If you want to merge with God, he says, think about these qualities. So we discussed about the meaning of each of them. Then Swami was talking about the meditation. So and last week I requested people whether they can go to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, where Swami covered each one instead of saying that yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Everybody wants to do meditation, even in yoga they teach meditation, dhyana. But you need to have preparation before that. have proper asana posture, yama, niyama, so control of the external thing, internal, and then withdrawal from the external distractions by the pratyahara, and breath control so that the mind calms down. Then you come to concentration and meditation, and then finally samadhi. So this is what we covered last week. And there, because Patanjali thing is very important, because the whole thing, his definition of yoga is, people think Patanjali yoga means putting the asanas. There is only a very little part. Definition of Patanjali yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Control of these tendencies of the mind. That means control of thoughts. That is yoga. The other things is part of the strengthening your body and making the breath control. But the real thing is filling the mind. So that is the whole thing. Only when you do that, all the other three yogas will happen. What are the other three yogas? Karma yoga, where you can do service when you want to do. You should have focus on the person who you are doing service and how you do serve. Bhakti yoga, you want to adore, love God, you should have that control, focus of the mind. And same thing, jnana yoga, ultimately, to have self-inquiry, we need to have that chitta vritti nirodha. So that is the fundamental foundation for all yogas, is this chitta vritti. That is why he emphasized it very much. And then he went on saying how one should love God. So we should have that one-pointed focus for God. Then ultimately you'll have. And then the three things, real, we all love. Is there anybody who doesn't love? Everybody loves. There is no, as long as we are born, we're going to love. Some love their spouse, some love their children, love their grandchildren, some love their family, some love their house, some love their job, love their money in the bank balance, some their name and fame. Everybody loves. If not, they love themselves. So otherwise, you won't think. But this is all worldly love. Swami says, this is temporary and it takes you always into trouble because your expectation leads to bondage. There is nothing wrong. You can love, but the attitude be different. You are loving your wife for the sake because it is God in them. You're loving husband because God in them. Children because God in them. Grandchildren, even work colleagues, everything you divinize them, then it becomes divine love. That is the thing. Don't do this selfish agenda or attachment we should not do. But the divine love is the one, he has three characters, Swami said. Number one, if you have really divine love, you won't have any fear. Once we have fear, that means we still do not have divine love. Anybody, anytime we have fear, that means we don't have divine love. Divine love is fearless, always. They don't worry about anything. And second thing is divine love, no bargaining. I mean, there is bargaining in the world. If you do this, I will do this to you. But God, no bargaining in divine love. I give you the hair and my thing, do this to me. I go so many pradakshinas, 10 pradakshinas, you do this. I break 100,000 coconuts, you will have this. I do this yajna, do this to me. So those are all, God fulfills this. They're all arthas, arthas. God will satisfy it. He knows that is what all they know. But we can't get stuck there. So he says there is a bargaining love. See, you should go to love for love's sake. I love because I love you, like the Gopikas had for Lord Krishna. And the Uddhava had for Lord Krishna. And Shabari had for Lord Rama. And so many people like Malsapati, Sathya had for Shri Baba. And so many devotees for Swami. So you should have love for love's sake, no bargaining. When we have that, there is no more fear. Always you live in peace and joy. So that is the purpose why divine love is the ultimate spirituality. That's what all these great people did talk about. So that's what we talked last week. And so now you can continue. That is on page 1. Unless you want to add any comments. You prepared some comments. Yeah. Good. You did some homework.
Sairam. I know from last a couple of satsangs we were talking about, as you just said, about the love for like a love's sake. And also we just said last time Drigdrishya Viveka, I was actually reflecting on what practical implication that has. Because especially if you know the person could be very annoying and doing some stuff, not that we encourage that behavior, but we know the person and the actions you can separate out. You can condemn the actions, but the person is that differentiation, that viveka, the seer and the seen. I thought that's one of the thing. And also, as you just said last week for Krishna Jayanti, to be thankful of Lord Krishna giving the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And also, as you just said, I was thinking, I know, like our Sai Krishna giving this yajna, Gnana Yajna, that was so grateful, thankful for that.
Because for other yajnas, you need priests. Some Atirudra yajna, they have about 20 priests, 30 priests. Sometimes they need a big number of priests. Then all those things to set up. Then the material for those things. So many things, money, resources, people. Here, jnana yajna, there is nothing. You just by yourself. It's nice to have other people so that it reinforces our devotion and always this satsang emphasize. But by yourself, you can do the jnana, each one, by contemplation, reflection. Go ahead.
One more thing else I wanted to share from last week. I know that paragraph last week, Lord Krishna said how to control the senses and all that, but that just one little paragraph I wanted to read, and I wanted to see if the other analogy I've been thinking to share. Here it says, this is in page 149. Here Arjuna intercepted and asked, "How is that ever possible, O Lord?" It is possible, Arjuna. Control the senses, let the mind be effaced as much as possible, and let the heart be purified. Let the vital airs be uplifted into the highest region of Sirisha. Sirsha, the head, let the individual be established in Atmic truth, and let the pranava be the only point of attention at the moment of prana leaving the body. Such a one comes to me and joins with me. His mental activities become the same as mine, said Krishna. So here I was thinking, I know here it said that when it says when you're leaving the body, it can also imply death of your ego. You don't have to really wait until you leave the body. Right. So if you purify your heart and you have your control and you have constant, that pranava, the constant remembrance of Om, you can achieve that now, even when you're alive. Right.
Yeah, the liberation, there is a people. One thing is, after you leave the body, the videha mukti, once you leave, you get liberated. But there is another one called jivan mukti. While you are alive, you are liberated. What is liberation? You think it's going into some nice place? Nothing. Liberation from bondage, that's all. Liberation from grief. The minute you are liberated from the bondage, then you are that minute. That means once your ego is gone, that minute you are liberated. There are so many Jivan Muktas. Go to the Himalayas, Rishikesh. Like examples was Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj. There are many Jivan Muktas. That's why even that beautiful thing, Satsangatve, Nisangatvam. Last word is Nisangatve, Nirmohatve, Nischalatatve, Jivan Mukti. He says you can, that means he says you can arrive, have these liberation while alive by having that stage of equanimity you can. But here you brought back that point again. Okay, then you brought it because this is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Control of the senses comes under two things, yama and niyama. External senses, internal senses. External to do with, if you go there, yama and niyama. Yama is not stealing anything, not hurting anybody. So just controlling your tongue and eyes. Then niyama, this both comes to the central of the senses. Swami, this is where you surrender to God, think about it. And then here it says this vital air you were talking about. That is pranayama. And then here, fourth thing he was talking about withdrawal, higher paragraph, withdrawal from the such objects, that is satyahara. And then he talked about concentration, that is dharana. Then he talked about meditation. He covered all this in this page instead of mentioning, because a lot of people may not understand. So Kwame covered yama, niyama, he covered the pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So it is covered there. So that is what it is. If you practice, so it can be liberated while alive. You don't need to wait for death.
Sairam. There is another thing too. You must yourself reason out and discover what exactly will expand your heart and what will breed disquiet. Then hold fast to the former and give up the latter, or else straying in devious paths like an insane ape, you will have to twist and turn in confusion. What is the cause of all the troubles and discontent to which many are subjected nowadays? It is the improper use they make of the senses. Who are the proper people to enter through each door of your home? You must decide and carefully watch. Those who must enter by one door should not use some other door. If they do, then that house will have only discontent, confusion, disorder. It is wiser to take precautious against such disorder before entrance is affected, rather than deal with the intruders after they come in through the wrong door. You may excuse this trespass for the first time, but certainly you must take enough care to see that it is not repeated. That is the better method, though not the best. I know these are only two paragraphs, but I just want to share really quick because later on Arjuna asks a different question. So here, so we need to nurture what really expands our heart. I think that's where that real self connect of that feeling. We can be so dense in a way that, just be robotic, but that whatever that expands, that gives that true joy, that's what you nurture. And the other ones that disrupt your calmness, those need to be discouraged. But the other thing I really like about this entering the door and stuff is that that's wonderful. You be cautious who enters. But here, Krishna and the Swamis, they're so compassionate. Even, let's say, if I mess up something or if I mishap happens, like occasionally, if you have that trespassing happens, you don't have to really feel so bad about it, but not to repeat it. Make sure that let's say if you hurt somebody, don't repeat those things. Repetition is the bonding much more. Just not the random acts.
Yeah, there was a great Swami by name Swami Abhedananda. He was a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He had a lot of works like Swami Vivekananda, complete works. He had complete works of Swami Abhedananda. He was very much emphatic. He was thinking about something, suddenly said, when in your house you want to enter, you have the front door, right? You won't allow everybody. So right? So any door, you are careful who you always careful open the door, nowadays more so, and then allow the people. So for your mind, you can't take door. So it says, hey, this is bad thought, this is good thought. So bad thoughts, don't let it enter at all. We prevent, block it. And there's good thoughts, just open it. Selectively, how you enter, let the guests and people come into your house, animals like bears and jackals, you won't let them in, right? So just you are very careful. Similarly, all these negative thoughts of hatred, jealousy, and greed, all those things are negative thoughts. As soon as you realize they are, you should do that. That's why he says it's not his constant. That's why before he is mentioned, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena, constant practice. It's not easy even for great people. It is just when you're doing meditation quietly, these things come. So you need to constantly practice, hey, this is not good, this is not good. So once it may happen. But after a while, you should say, hey, you enough of it, just get lost. So you need to be able to have that firm conviction. So as Swami was telling here again, he's telling, it's like insane ape. Sometimes he says monkey. I don't know whether they animated. Swami doesn't usually use unless this is the Western version of the Gita Vahini. Maybe they changed it, but usually Swami says, right? Monkey mind, mad monkey which is drunk alcohol, and then when somebody pinched it or scorpion, it goes all over gems like that. How mind here, there, something you watch because all these negative thoughts come. So you should put a door. That's one important one. Second thing he said is important. What will expand your heart and what will make you restless? Each one of us, like that we had Shidi, that Pran Pratishtha, that man, I don't know, he's 80 plus, and then he came, he was talking to me. Only thing I understand, Anand, he's Gujarati. When he was going on, and Niranjan Patel told me, no, he doesn't understand Gujarati, but this man goes on talking to Gujarati, and but only thing I understood is he's on. First time he came to Sai Pranayam, he said he was in bliss, he was very happy. So what I'm telling is anything, wherever you go, you feel peaceful, happy, quiet. That is place to go. Wherever I feel, oh my God, one of my cousins, she was there in some party there. Oh, too much sound, it disturbs me, this bothers me, this people. So that means that's not the right place for you to go. So as much as possible, try to go to places. That is why in the old times, Sri Ramakrishna said, once in a while, a householder. Anyway, sannyas is always practice lonely quietude. But even householders once in a way get away from the din and roar of society. Be by yourself, contemplate. That is the best way to connect God. Whichever makes you calm, peaceful, happy, and whichever, even the movies people say, but there are some people enjoying that. I have one guy, he was a trainer, he was telling me, oh, I enjoy movies. What movies? Horror movies. Because why? Because my mother, she loves, and from childhood, he was exposed to that. So he finds that is the joy of him. So unfortunately, whatever you are nurtured in young age, so some people are good karma, they will be born like born in a spiritual family from childhood, exposed to the vibration. But some people, they don't know anything else. Unfortunately, their karma takes him to those part. So that is why we should careful. Two things. One is keep a door for all the negative thoughts, block them. Second is always go to three things: places which make you happy, people which make you happy. Some people you want to run away from them. My God, when they so stay away from people, places, things which disturb you. And embrace places, people, and things which make you be in touch with God. That is the whole thing. That is what Swami was telling. You should analyze and be in touch with that. Okay.
Okay. Again, Arjuna felt a doubt arising in him. If the senses are bound, how can the Om be pronounced? Krishna understood this. He took up the matter himself. Arjuna, Om has to be pronounced in the mind, not through the mouth as a sensory organ. Next, Arjuna raised another question to relieve himself of another doubt. You said, Japato nasti
Patakam. Japato nasti patakam.
patakam. He who does japa has no sin. But if japam cures one from sin, what happens to liberation, moksha? Evidently, japam is powerless to bring that about. Japam will not enable one to concrete the Lord. The Lord was happy when Arjuna mentioned this doubt. Partha, Arjuna, your question is important, but let me tell you, moksha need not be sought after separately apart from other objectives. If Om is recited and the significance of the Om, that is to say, the Lord is meditated upon, then the Lord is attained by you. In other words, you are liberated. Arjuna insisted on this point. He asked, Lord, is it ever possible for Japam to bring about both results? Of course, it is easy for you to declare so, but trouble starts when we follow the path of Japam and Dhyanam. Krishna replied, it is just for this purpose that I mentioned at the very start about Abhyasa Yoga, the yoga of practice or Abhyasa. Practice, steady practice will ensure you both results, freedom from the sin and liberation. Probably you don't realize the importance of practice. How foolish, Arjuna. Do not do you see here how practice makes an animal execute difficult tasks? Look at these horses hooked into the chariot, these elephants ranged on the field. They render the assistance in battle which even men with the superior equipment of reason cannot give. Consider how this was made possible. Where have elephants dwelling in the forest observed the tactics of battle? Or do you hold the fighting on the battlefield to their nature? No, their present skill is proof of the value of practice, abhyasa. Similarly, practice the withdrawal of.
I think this
Because
you can
okay,
stop there. So then
okay,
you can
okay, because I know we're talking
because
about.
these three important paragraphs connected.
So I think the two things came to my mind. So just pure japam and meditation can't conquer both sin and liberation. That's why Krishna said, we just talked about constant practice, abhyasa yoga. Before I go, but I also wanted to bring here very subtle way. He said, moksha is not another objective. Moksha is not another goal, something to achieve. So that's because something that you understand that you're not bound. I think that's what here clearly he said it's not an objective, and constant practice. I think that emphasized.
What is moksha? What did Swami say? What is moksha? Yeah, moha chaya. So the minute your moha is gone, you're already in moksha. You got the moksha. You don't need to a special place to go. They say, oh, you have to go to the heaven here. No, the minute your moha is gone, delusion. So many great saints, sages, they have no moha at all. That means they are liberated. And it can be for us also. It can be done. Actually, Lord, the last chapter of whole Gita is Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. So that is what here. And that is why we were talking about Avim Puranam, that is sloka 9th and 10th. So that how at the end you need to put the breath. Before that, sloka 8 is what is, I already said. He said, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasan Anyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Partha Anuchintayan. So continuously, without, very important. Chetasa Nanya your mind should not go to this and that. Without going into any other attraction, sense object, you focus on me only by abhyasa, constant practice. That is why Swami also said, Niyama Nishtalatoda Nanugulchu Varini Kapadu Chundeti Ganatanam. So you need to have a discipline. It's not easy. We go to work at 8 and then come back. So even for your spiritual practice, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever it is in the morning, whether it is 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m., and same thing in the evening. You shouldn't have that fixed time. Then automatically you get tuned into that, whether you like it or not. Even Swami said you can even are going in a train or in a flight, still at that time automatically it comes. That is why constant practice this becomes what is called conditioned reflex. Automatically, like during that time, it thinks about it. So that should become a constant practice. And like you, wherever you go, you eat lunch, right, dinner, because you get hungry that time. Same thing, hunger for the spiritual practice. God automatically, this that time, you do your japa, dhyana, stotram, or whatever it is, we can do that. So you need to have that schedule practice. And here, Swami says, Japato nasti patakam. Once you do japa, all your sins are gone. There is one thing, japa, repetition of divine name is the greatest way to purify our heart. All this, Sant Kabir said that, Sri Ramakrishna, Swami, everybody. And it is not only this japa is not only for Hindus, it is there for Christians, Hail Mary, they say, Buddhists, they say, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, or no, Om Mani Padme Hum. So every faith sect, they see the power in the divine name. But here Swami says you don't need to say it aloud. One is, that is why in the japa, first stage is we say Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai Ram loud. That is called Vachaka japa. Then there is a thing called Upamshu japa. You don't even hear from me, right? So I'm saying Om Sri Sai Ram. My lips are moving, no sound is coming. That is called Upamshu japa. That is said to be more powerful than Vachaka japa. Then there higher than that, more powerful, Manasika japa is being inside always Om Sri Sai Ram. Nobody even knows that. Then a stage will come, it becomes Ajapa japa. Without your knowledge, you will be going on this body, even sleep, whatever you're doing, constantly in the background. Like some people, we play the Sri Sai Ram or Gayatri Mantra with this machine. So outside, and they goes on chanting. But here, that inside machine will be there doing that. Actually, I can tell you nice incident. This man called Subbareddy. So this was a great devotee of Swami. So I met him personally. I even talked about him in the Kulwant Hall in one of the talks. So he was, I don't know whether still he is alive or not. So he was there at that time because I heard about him. This man didn't even go to high school. He's from Nellore district. Telugu also is like a village people talk. But he is such a devotee. He heard about Swami at the age of 12. And just he came to see Swami, that is darshan of Swami, and that's it. And he was very happy and went back to his. And he was used to graze the cows for taking the field for the have the grass. So he doesn't take care of the cows. They take in villages to the place. So he was taking them, and then his mother said, "Hey, every day you should do 3,000 Om Sri Sai Ram. Every day you should do." He gave the word to his mother, and he was very sincere. So when he went there in the fields, so he took the cows, and then he leave it to the field for grazing grass. So then he used to sit on Om Sri Sai Ram. It takes some time, right? A couple of hours. And he did that, and then but he sees these cows, usually they go here, there, everywhere. They were not going, just they were around him only. He was very happy. So he's told his mother, "Mom, I'm finishing 3,000. One thing interesting, I noticed these cows, which used to go here, now they don't go anywhere. Just they stay here in this border. Hey, who is taking care of your cows?" Swami is he is making sure they don't go. Oh my God, he did realize I am giving trouble to Swami. I'm making him take care of these cows. That's not right. Okay, then I won't do that. It's wrong. I won't do that. Yeah, I'm giving trouble to Swami. So he's innocent heart. Then he said, "Okay, I gave you a word. Okay, I will do it in the evening, 8 to 10 p.m. Because by the time I finish work, I come home, and then I will do 8 to 10 p.m. And then he's go, and then his aunt, she used to go to Puttaparthi. Then he went there, he came back. Peddamma, she's mother's older brother. When does Swami say, when does he go to sleep? Swami never sleeps, but in the worldly sense, by 7:30, 8 o'clock, he goes, and then comes in the morning. Oh, I'm disturbing his sleep. How can I do? Shivam Sri Sai Ram. So he really feels bad. Then after a few weeks, he went to Puttaparthi, he went there. So he had some health problem because travel or something. So 2 days he didn't go to Omkar. In the morning they have the Omkaram, right? In the Omkaram and Suprabhatam in the Mandir. He used to go regularly, but he didn't go for 2 days because he was not well. And third day, Swami saw him. Hey, he didn't come for Omkaram and Suprabhatam. And he said, Swami, you were not there. And it is all pitch dark. Shut off the lights. Anybody who have gone, once you go in the mandir, sit there for Omkaram, they shut off the lights. It's all barely you see. How could you see? So you were not there and there was no lights. How did you? Hey, do you need lights to see wherever I am? Whether you are in Nellore or anywhere, I'm always there everywhere. So there is no place I am not there. So then he says, it touched his heart. Then that means he didn't feel, that means Swami is you don't need to restrict for a place or a time. He says, without his knowledge, always Om Sri Saram, as if he says Swami implanted you should hear his beautiful interview. He implanted in his heart that recorder, and almost for him it's like that, constant it says Om Sri Sairam, Om Sri Sairam. That is Ajapa Japa. So how, and innocently when you go to God, you don't need to be think how Swami can direct you. That is the ultimate thing. So you should have that purity and intensity of love. And there also no bargaining. He is more worried about Swami's comfort rather than about the results of his japa. This man is amazing. He used to serve in the South Indian canteen. I don't know anybody. You saw him? I met him, and he's wonderful. That is why these are the people who have that love for love's sake. There's no bargain, and they are fearless. So I remembered when we talked about this japa, how the practice. For that's constant practice. Actually, I remember Swami Swahananda, he was a Vedanta center head. He was my patient too. So when he was admitted in Methodist Hospital, so they had to have operation. The man, the orderly, he was taking him to the operating theater. He said that stretcher on which he put and took, oh, I feel something there because he is such a holy man. I felt that vibration. Because even in the sleep, it's like that he goes on. What is he doing? That in japa, always he was doing the japa. These holy people constantly. Yeah, when I go for a walk here, I see a Buddhist man. He carries that, he goes constantly goes on doing that. Whenever I see him, so there are people, they know the power. Once you know the taste, that is what you need to have, the taste for divine name. That's what says the sweetest is Ram Nama.
Say something. Like there is the body, and then there is the spirit, which is intellectual, and then there is that soul, the Atma. We are given, like actually the spirit means breath. God has given you that breath to give, and then that is so you can live. That breath and the intellect, all of that is what we call spirit. But the spirit is intellect, and the Atma means like life in the Greek term, what a soul, Atma, means life. So the very life, that takes us closer to the divine. That the ultimate goal is that soul to be part of the divine, go back to the divine, which is always part of the divine, but go back to the divine. So what we are, all of this, I see it as that intellect that's given to us, we need to use, if we use that discrimination from every minute of our life, what is right, what is wrong, what is it we are right thing to do, what is the right thing to do? I think that question comes, we use the intellect, we get into a practice of doing what that discrimination tells us this is the right thing to do. So if you go back to that yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, think about it, saying truth all the time, never lying even a little for nothing, that comes with practice too. So we start that first step being truthful and having principles, and then go to asana. You think about that doesn't come without practice either. That requires a lot of practice, because the sages gave us that yoga to imitate the nature. The goal is you are in control of your body. You can imitate any organism on the planet, and you can stay in that position, but that also requires enormous practice. So you achieve even just the lotus position, if you can stay for 3 minutes without feeling any pain for 3 minutes, then you are good. You practiced enough and you achieved that position. You can stay for 3 minutes at least. So even that takes enormous practice, and so it goes. So we are climbing up those steps one by one, and if the goal is, if one chooses to be reach that soul to ultimately be with the God. So that's the choices. I think there's the body on one side, and there is the soul, that Atma, that divine on the other side. And this intellect in the middle, that plays a big role for us to always, every minute, making that choice and practicing. We make a mistake, so it's okay, so what? We try not to make that mistake again and continue on that path. So that's one path, one choice to make. Or we can always think about the worldly things. And so if intellect, if it's not used, then we are more emphasizing the importance to the body, and we are not in the divine path. And also that Atma, what is it? How is it? It gets trained. Like, we are coming here every day, and the Atma is, that spirit is, in the intellect is getting trained, practice to move towards the goal, towards the Atma, but not towards the body. So I've been listening to you for so many years, and Atma is we are Atma, means we are divine. We are part of the divine. We came from divine. Our goal is to be with the divine. And what is it that exactly we need to do? Yes, using the intellect and practicing those steps every step of the way.
Yeah, I talked about Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It's very simple. Kathopanishads, that guy, Yama, Lord Yama, god of death, source of knowledge, he tells that young boy, Nachiketa, who is a young boy, he has got also good vasanas. He was given all the wealth in the world, power, and then pleasures. He said, I don't want. Then he tells him two paths, Shreyomal, Shreyomal. In the world, there is everything. Is it something good for you? Something pleasure for you? So just you choose. Is it really, most of the time, if you see the TV or the world banners, everything titillates your senses, just stimulates. Oh, some music and some movies, something, gods. Most of the people are distracted, 99% of the people. So for you, you need to choose that payer mark, which takes you. It is not easy. That is why in the Bible, just Jesus says, wide and big are the highways to go toward the hell. Narrow and straight is the way to heaven. So it is only not everybody can. So you need to choose the right, because we have Swami who is guiding us. So you need to have that discrimination. And it is not a big deal. Everybody has conscience. When we do wrong thing, when we tell, like you said, truth, Swami says, truth is God, right? Sathya Sai Baba. He named it, he says, there is Shirdi, but Sai Baba is there, but I am the only Sathya Sai Baba. Truth. So if people compromise truth, then you are not following Swami's teachings. So you need everything. Is it taking me towards God? That is why in the Bhagavatam, about Prahlada, it is said he was only 5 years. So many beautiful character he has. One of them, he says, Leelayandunu bonkulu lenivaadu. Because we all think, I am telling lie. It's fun I am telling. Even for fun, he won't tell lies. Leelayandunu bonkulu le. Even for fun, he won't tell lies. That is the kind of greatness, perfection Prahlada had. Love for God and love for his people. There's a beautiful poem written in Bhagavatam. How well-mannered boy it is for people to learn how to be a good-mannered boy. That whole poem is there. There, one of the things is, even for fun, he won't tell lies. That kind. Then your word gets power. That is what Sri Ram said. If you don't tell any lies for 12 years, whatever you say, it happens. Swami said, I will have the thing. Anyway, he's an avatar, but I will have the hospital within a year. So people didn't believe. Even to add for our home, the little thing, it took a year. So whereas such a, it is itself the greatest miracle. We have that. So that's why their words get the power. So main thing is simple thing. That's why we make it complicated. What is the way to God? Think good, think no evil. You always think. See good, see no evil. So otherwise we'll see all the evil side. Hear good, hear no evil. No gossip, no. Speak good, speak no evil. If you don't talk about bad things or anything. And do good, do no evil. And this is the way to God. So this, you don't need to know Vedas, you don't need to know scriptures, you don't, it's nice to know them, but this everybody, even little child will understand. Thinking good, seeing good, hearing good, speaking good. So that we practice, automatically everything will fall in place. You will get liberation. This is why we need to practice that. So we'll have next session now. To Sai Ram.